statement, they go on to say that IDF has eliminated Asefa, who's the commander of Hamas Deir Al-Balah Battalion. Asefa aided in the dispatch of thousands of terrorists to assault, abduct and murder the Israeli civilians on the 7th of October. Listen in to the voices coming in. This is the claim that the Israeli Defense Forces has made. Apart from the ground level assault, there were targeted attacks that were done on Hamas targets by the Israeli Defense Forces. And one of the key things that Israeli Defense Forces have argued is that till the time Hamas leadership is completely eliminated, they will continue with the assault on ground, air, or through different means in the Gaza Strip and also in West Bank. Listen in to what the Israeli Prime Minister said.
There will be no ceasefire, general ceasefire in Gaza without the release of our hostages. As far as tactical little pauses, an hour here, an hour there, we've had them before. I suppose we'll check the circumstances in order to enable goods, humanitarian goods to come in, or our hostages, individual hostages to leave. But I don't think there's going to be a general ceasefire. It's not that I don't think. I think it will hamper the war effort. It'll hamper our effort to get our hostages out, because the only thing that works on these criminals in Hamas is the military pressure that we're exerting.
Leaving you with the special conversation, CNN News 18's Zako Jacob interviewed the former National Security Advisor of the United States, John Bolton, who emphasized on the significance of comprehending the context of the conflict and where does the future lie. Listen in. Thank you for watching.
So Tuesday is going to be a month since the Israel-Hamas war began. What is your assessment of where things stand as they stand today? Israel, in a sense, after October 7th, the entire world was outraged by what we saw. Israel was the victim, clearly. But in response, the way they've gone about with aerial strikes, with the ground operation, thousands of Palestinians dead, many of them happen to be children and women. Do you see time and options running out for Israel the longer this war drags on?
Well, it's hard to predict with certainty, but I think the most likely read here is that we're still in the very early stages of this conflict. And I think it's important to understand really what the full context of the conflict is. It's not a case of a Hamas war on Israel. I think these operations are directed, certainly approved by the mullahs in Tehran. I think this is a coalition effort against Israel involving Hamas in the first instance, but also Hezbollah, the Houthi rebels in Yemen, Shia militia groups in Iraq, and obviously Iran itself. And the objectives, I think, are to impose as much harm on Israel as they can, and perhaps on the Gulf Arab states, and perhaps on the United States. But remember, everybody was taken by surprise by the Hamas attack. So it's very hard to read what Iran's overall strategy is. But I think it's in that larger context that people should evaluate what's happening in Gaza. There is no question but that Israel is entitled to exercise its inherent right of self-defense. And as long as it is targeting legitimate military objectives and it weighs the proportionality of the strike, the seriousness of the military target, compared to the risk of collateral damage, it is entitled under the law of war to proceed. I think what it's facing is a very well coordinated, actually quite sophisticated propaganda and disinformation campaign about exactly what's happening in Gaza. So I don't understate the pressure that's going to be brought on Israel, but I think after what they saw on October the 7th, they'll be perfectly resolved to resist it.